Good morning, guys and gals. Happy Super Bowl weekend. And instead of watching the Super Bowl, I'll have it on in the background, I guess. I'm going to do an oil change, a grease job, rotate the tires, do a safety inspection of lights, and also check all the other fluids on this '02 Suburban. It's got about 110,000 miles on it. It's an '02, so that's pretty low mileage. Not super low, but pretty low for an '02. And I have shown you this before, but something new might come up. You never know. So let's try it again. Looks like that back door's open. Okay. I hope that wasn't open all night long. Anyway, I'm just running it a little bit to warm it up. It doesn't have to be totally hot, but there. Let's see if this will focus. Check engine oil level. Trying to show you the mileage. Oh, there it is. I was just pointing to the wrong place. 121,500, call it. And here we go. I like to jack under the solid rear axle, and that way I don't have to jack it up very high to get the tire off the ground. Also, I have a clearance issue with my roll-up door, so this works pretty well for doing this service. And on the front, I go into the control arms. Same reason, so I don't have to jack it up very high. I'm going to get the wheels off first. That'll give me a little more room to get under there and do the oil change and also have a look around. And I will be putting jack stands under there for safety. Okie dokie, we got all the wheels off, and now we put a jack stand, couple jack stands under there, and start draining the oil. Pull the dipstick out a little bit just in case there's any suction. I don't think there usually would be, but you never know. Well, I guess that's one for the electric cars. You don't have to change the oil in them. I've never really been one to wear gloves, and it's a messy job. I used the big oil filter pliers. I'll show you. Yeah, I use those pliers right there. They're specifically designed for oil filters, and to be perfectly honest, it didn't work that well on this oil filter because it's in a recessed area, and but I got it off. I let that drain for a while. I didn't get it super duper hot, but I did warm up the engine a little bit, maybe to 120 or so, and just so that the oil would flow out better. And so that's it. I think I'm going to get some lunch. This truck does have grease fittings, as you can see, and you should hit them with a little grease. Don't overfill it each time you do an oil change. So I have listed all those fittings in detail on one of my other videos, so please go and refresh your memory if you need to on one of my other videos on the '02 Suburban oil change and grease job. For the sake of knocking this out fast, I'm just going to hit them all now with my grease gun. Okay, wow, this is important. That was tough doing the grease job. This is a four-wheel drive, so you might not have all these. You got upper and lower ball joints, inner and outer tie rod. That's 4 and 4, that's 8 Zerks. Plus you have the steering gear here. I don't know the exact names of these pieces, but there's one up at the top that moves everything down below. That one, 2, 3. So you got 3 there. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11 Zerk fittings on this. Okay, also it's got a skid plate. To get to these 3, I recommend that you remove the skid plate. It's 4 15mm bolts. And that's about it. It takes me 30 seconds to describe it. It took me like an hour to do it. But it's got a full grease job now. I got to put the oil back in. The filter is on. The plug is back in. And then we'll just rotate the tires and check the rest of the fluids, and we're done.